Hi everyone. So on the evening before the day I depart Thailand, go back to Australia, I want to do this next video on the 4 crucial steps on how to align yourself with and take advantage of change. And it's about how to make decisions. I'm going to keep it really basic. As I've said many times before, don't make decisions with your mind. It's out of date. The mind now needs a rest, needs to get back to what it's really good at doing. We've had 90,000 years of doing it. It's produced a lot of progress and a lot of pain, but we've gone past it now. We can go to a much deeper place within us that's much more connected with this physical world in order to make decisions. Now, I'm going to do a video at another stage fairly soon actually, where I go into quite a bit of depth about why I say that. So for those of you who haven't heard that before or new to human design or never heard of it, that will go into much more detail about the design of everything from inanimate objects up to human beings and why I'm saying we've progressed past making decisions with our mind. But just for today, I want to get to the point about how do you make decisions if you don't make decisions with your mind. And the first thing to realize is whenever you make a choice, and we're becoming much more capable of making conscious choice these days. We've still got a long way to go. And a lot of people in human design really believe there is no choice. Now, what they mean by that, I believe, is if you're not conscious of all the forces at play in the world, the mechanics of the universe, the way your subconscious, unconscious mind work, all the different factors involved in putting this universe together so you can exist in it. If you're not aware of those factors and think you can just make a choice randomly on impulse off the top of your head and just go ahead and make that happen, frankly, it isn't going to work, because there are forces at work that are much more powerful than just a random mental choice. But if you align yourself with that, if you understand those forces and really consciously interact with them and align yourself with them, then conscious choice becomes a real thing. However, every choice you make is linked with a decision, just as every thought you have is linked to a feeling, and every feeling you have produces thought. Now, a lot of people act as though that isn't true, but it is. And so, coming back to decisions and choices, if you make a choice consciously, spiritually, physically in your life, about your business, about your family, about whatever's important to you, if you make a choice, how do you know that that is a great decision for you or an appropriate decision for you? And that's the crucial thing that till now most people have overlooked. There's a lot of people out there saying, oh, just choose and it'll all work, power of choice, and all of that power of choice is very powerful. But you need to know that if you make a choice, that's a good decision for you, or you've got the energy and the design to actually respond to that decision in a way that's a benefit to you and everybody else. And human design gets to that, really addresses that in a way that nothing else before has ever done. Now, I'm just going to break it down to the very simple basics. There are 2 things in making a decision when you use your design, who you are, as just whether you understand design or not, the way you actually are as a human being. The option to not make decisions with your mind, I've got to give you a better option, otherwise I'm blowing in the wind. So there's a strategy that each person and each type has for making decisions, or even knowing when there is a decision that needs to be made. And the second part is that every one of you individually has a unique inner authority to actually decide whether something is right for you or not. And again, this isn't mental. Your body and your inner wisdom and your inner consciousness will tell you if this is good for you or not, whether this is worth getting involved with or not. Okay? So with the strategy, there are 4 basic types in human design. 8% of the population basically just need to inform people when they decide to do things on impulse. Otherwise, people get really annoyed that they just did something and they weren't prepared for it. The other 92% of the population has to wait. Wait? Yes, because there's so much out there telling you, get out there and make it happen and get it done. Push it, and you can achieve your dreams, and just push, go at it. That's not the right way to go anymore. Maybe in the past, but it just doesn't work now, because you end up making decisions that aren't right for you, or you end up deciding to do things that other people have conditioned you into doing, or just life has conditioned you into doing, and that will not align you with change and help you to take advantage of the change that's happening in the world today. So basically what I've said is most of you out there, 92% of you, need to wait. If you're one of these people called a generator who go out there and build things up, you wait and respond to what is happening. Why? Because generators are plugged into life force energy directly. 70% of the population are generators, and we're plugged in. I'm one of them, and you're plugged into life force. So why do you wait? Because life is happening. You don't have to make things happen. That's the beauty of it. Life's happening. Life is creating so much for you to respond to, and that's the beauty of it. You're here to wait and respond to what's happening. That's your strategy. So when something comes to you, life brings something to you, then you have a decision to make. Then there's another 3 groups. They're not directly connected to life force energy. So they work off the energy that generators put out. So hopefully we're putting out good energy, and most of us aren't at the moment because we're not following our strategy and authority. We're doing what we think we should do. We're working on what we think we should do, not on what we're truly here to do. But anyway, the other ones, projectors, they're here to guide and manage. Generators are here to build, do the work, but generators are here to guide and manage them. Projectors need to wait until someone else recognizes them and then invites them to get involved. Then they have a decision to make whether it's right for them to do it or not. And then there's a very small group called reflectors. They're like the canaries in the mine. They basically have to wait a month because they're so open to what's going on around them that they need a month to sort of take in all the different energies of a moon cycle, and then they know whether something's right for them or not. And finally you have that 8% who do things on impulse, and they need to inform people that they're about to do things. Otherwise people will react against them, resist them. If a manifestor informs people, people will either get out of the way or give them a hand. Okay, so they're the strategies. Most of us have to wait and either be in response or wait and to be invited. And that's not what the mind likes to do. It likes to get out there and make things happen and push it and manifest things. And the way of the future is different now. Now, within that, when you do have a decision to make, there are a wide variety of different approaches. 50% of the population have to then wait for their emotional cycle to go through a full cycle, which is overnight or a few days at least, until they reach emotional clarity. In other words, 50% of the population should never make decisions in the moment. Impulse buying. If a salesman's selling to you, don't buy on the spot. And salespeople, don't force them to. They might not ever buy, but if they do come back and buy, you've got a long-term customer. The other 50%, about 30% or 30% of those, need to make decisions bang from their gut in the moment. A smaller group need to trust their instincts and impulses. Instincts and intuition. And then there are smaller, sophisticated groups that basically have to, there's a group, quite a small group, 1 or 2, 3%, that follow their will. It's just willpower. You know, if they have the will to do it, do it. And if they don't, don't. And then there's a very small group that work quite sophisticatedly, and they have to share what they're feeling in their heart or what they're thinking with people until what's right for them comes out of their own mouths or becomes obvious from what's happening around them. So there's a wide variety of new decision-making processes out there, and you need to know what's right for you. And then you can test what I'm saying. You can make decisions with your mind and see if it works. And then you can make decisions with your strategy and your inner authority and see if that works for you. Look, aligning yourself with change is not just some spiritual theory. It's very practical and pragmatic. Check it out. Find out what your decision-making process is. And then, don't just intellectualize it and give it to your mind to play with. Test it in your everyday life with small things that are simple at first and then with bigger things. And you'll find, well, as I have, doing this for 6 years now, that it opens up a whole new way of living in the world, of realizing how much this world is trying to love you, is trying to help you. And it enables your mind to, in a sense, retire or go back to what it's really, really good at doing. So let's leave it at that for today. But I'll let you know when this more in-depth video is available for you. Think that over what I've said. Send me any comments. Ask me for help if you want any. You know where to contact me. And I look forward to talking to you in the future, and that will be from Australia at least for the next month or two, a couple of months. Take care.